Today on the show, we're making fettuccine Alfredo with my good friend, Stephen March. Stephen, how you doing, man?
I'm kicking butt, taking names, man.
There you go. So I saw a couple weeks ago on Facebook, you're like, hey, making fettuccine for the lady. And I'm like, I'm the lady, but would you come over and make some on the show for us and show us how you do it? Put your spin on it, and you're like, I'm there, man. So here we are.
Yep.
So you do your chicken with the marinade and stuff. Is that how you start out?
Sure do.
Okay, so why don't you walk us through how you do that? I'm going to kind of, on the recipe side of things, take almost a back seat and let you teach me.
Yeah, dude.
Show me the way.
Love it, man. Now, this is a big old chicken breast, so we're going to do things a little different. We're going to cut this one in half this time.
Okay.
It's a bit of a doozy. I kind of suck at this, so don't judge me if it's not super artistic.
I won't judge you. Hold it. So I'll help you out if you want me to. Okay, so turn the flat side down, because that side we already know where it's at. Yep. Yeah, okay. And then you're going to start at the thick end. There you, exactly. Hold your hand flat on it. There you go.
I don't normally do this, so. Oh yeah, there we go. I see. You got some really nice chicken breasts, man.
Thanks.
Ooh, it's a little small.
That's all right.
Whatever. Who
That's
cares?
all right.
Do we have a rag real quick? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the marinade's pretty easy. Just salt and pepper, a lot of it, garlic. We're going to do onion powder and zesty Italian.
All right.
So I have a baggie and...
You want a big bag or a little bag?
Big bag, just in case.
All right.
I'll just put that over there. And what I do is I'll just put the chicken in first. Makes it nice and easy, you know. Now, you said that was salt?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to only touch chicken with this here.
There you go.
Thank you. Now, there's not really a rhyme or reason to it. You just kind of go until there's a lot. You want to coat it thoroughly, because like when you have a wet sauce, a lot of this is going to cook off anyways. So if you're not going to season it for more than just a couple hours, let me say that the other way. If you only have a couple hours to marinate this, you may want to score the meat a little bit on both sides.
Okay.
There. Just so that way all the flavor gets in a little better.
Cool.
If you have real thick chicken breasts, you're definitely going to want to do that because you want to have a nice consistent flavor.
Yeah, well, and like you said, you want that marinade to really get in there and do its thing.
A little more.
So where did you come up with this recipe? Is this something you just kind of threw together, or is this something that somebody showed you how to do?
The chicken recipe? This one was just kind of one I threw together in our struggle meal days because it's real cheap to prepare. You know, the ingredients are really humble. Oh, wait, this one. Would you mind doing the lid on it?
Gotcha.
This we have a little bit of onion powder. I don't know if you can see which camera, but a little bit of onion powder here. By that I mean 3/4.
About half an onion?
Yeah, about half an onion's worth. A little bit of garlic powder. It's all by feel, man. It basically came from a steak recipe I used to do.
Okay.
Zesty Italian. It was like tequila and garlic and lime juice and zesty Italian. And I was like, man, that zesty, and my lady, Ashley D, what's up, baby girl? She was like, man, that zesty would taste really good on some chicken. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
It really would. And then that was like 10 years ago. This has been kind of a staple in our household. So basically, when you get to this point and you're done with your dries, that's when you're just going to dump in a buttload of zesty Italian here.
Okay. And then do you do a clove of garlic in there as well?
Yeah. We're going to chop that up. You don't have to do a whole lot. Basically, you just want enough where you can like really mix it around in the bag once it's closed up. All right, cool. And we have this fancy dandy thing
Sure enough.
Here. I'll just do it that way. So this is just one clove of garlic right here. You can do 2, 3, whatever you want. And basically from here you're done. You're just gonna want to mix it up really well. You can let it sit anywhere from an hour or two to overnight if you want in the fridge. Definitely in the fridge if you're gonna be doing it that long. Oh, thank you. Appreciate the assist.
Yeah, man. All right.
Awesome. And then basically you just seal this bad boy up and just mix it all
Give
up.
it a zhuzh.
Yep. Throw that bad boy in the fridge for half an hour, flip it, give it a little smushy smush, do it again for half an hour.
Okay.
Look, you can't go wrong with this. The longer you go, the better it's going to be. So.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I came in last night and we've got some overnight marinated chicken for us today. So
I can't even wait. Now I feel extra spoiled. So I just roll this thing up.
There you go. Get all that air out of there.
Take out all that rum. Would you mind
You
throwing that
betcha.
in the fridge for me?
Yep.
And basically that's it for the chicken.
And with the magic TV, there we go.
Doesn't that look good? I know you can't smell it, but I can, and it's great. You're gonna love this. Now, the next thing we gotta prep, you might think is gonna be the hard part, but it's just an Alfredo sauce. And they're gonna have the recipe for us. They'll be able to use the magic to put it up somewhere. But basically, it's super easy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, or like whole milk, whatever you have or prefer, on medium heat, I mean to say. Bloop.
1 stick.
Oh, 1 stick. Okay, cool. Now, you can use salted butter if you want, or unsalted. There's going to be a ton of salt in this, especially because the Parmesan, so, like...
I'm an unsalted butter guy.
Yeah.
Because I like to control the amount of salt.
There we go. Whoops. Little splash. Anyways, basically, you just cook this on a low heat for a little bit until it all melts down.
Okay.
You want it to start blending together as is with just the cream and the butter, and then you're going to throw a bunch of Parmesan cheese up in that mug. While that's doing this, we should be having water heating up.
Yeah, so our water's getting nice and toasty.
Perfection.
And then I'll go ahead and get some fettuccine down.
Excellent. Because that's going to be, once you start warming up your sauce is basically when you want to throw the noodles in.
Okay.
Because fettuccine can take a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and these noodles I think will take about 11 minutes or so for al dente.
Oh, cool.
So we'll time that. What we'll do is we'll wait about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll come back. That sauce will get going. We'll get the noodles on and show you where we're at from there. So stick around. All right, so chicken time.
Yeah. So we've been having the cream and the butter come up to temp.
Okay.
Now
nice low simmer almost.
Yeah, low simmer. You just want it to not quite be boiling, just enough to see some bubbles coming up through it. This is the perfect time to add the cheese in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
It's going to take a minute. Now we have some nice Parmigiano Reggiano here.
Only the best.
Normally I use the cheap stuff. You can get away with just about anything.
Don't do that.
Look, man.
If you're gonna go through the process of cooking dinner, you might as well go for it, in my opinion.
The recipe for 2 cups, I know, right? We gotta. It calls for about 8 ounces, but like I kind of like closer to 10, to be honest with you. So
well, I will tell you too, if you're not used to eating actual cheese instead of the pre-grated stuff that you would buy, that is going to be a lot more potent.
Yeah, for sure. What happens is if we do end up using a little bit less cheese and it's a little runny, you can always throw a tiny pinch of flour in here.
Yeah.
To thicken it up if you need.
But keep in mind too, with heavy whipping cream, it'll thicken up with heat over time.
Yeah, just depends on what you're making it with. Which is awesome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stir this up real quick.
Okay.
See.
Go for it.
That's a nice cheese grater right there. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna need more of that good stuff. Now, if you want, you can do this beforehand.
Well, I was going to say, if you want, I can...
if you want to do this while I put
I will grate some cheese for you.
Sweet.
If you want to start on the chicken.
Yeah. That'll work. Put you to work here. All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, so we have our chicken breasts here. There's a few of them. While this has been heating up, you want to bring your pan up to temp, kind of like a medium heat, medium high. You don't want to go too hot, but it's got to be pretty warm because like we don't want to spend all night cooking this, you know what I mean? And if you have real thick chicken breasts, it can take a while. But we're going to pull them out real quick. You got some tongs over there?
Sure do.
Thank you, kind sir. Man, these smell so good.
Yeah, I can smell that from here. It smells really good.
Oh my. It's just nice. Like the zest, you might think, whoa, what, zesty Italian dressing, but like, it just brings like a cool, it's like a party in your mouth, man.
Well, and that, first of all, I'm good with the party in the mouth, but it's a marinade, so it doesn't have to be like over the top fancy. You're packing in flavor is what you're doing.
Yep. And if it tastes good, that's really what it's all about, honestly.
Right.
You're going to have probably some leftover juices in here. Don't be afraid. Go ahead and throw that up in here. Go ahead and just throw that all in that pan. That's just flavor escaping. Trash bag. And you want to just make sure they don't stick. So once you pour your sauce in, or the rest of your marinade, I should say, make sure you move your stuff around, coat it all up, what have you. Probably gonna turn the heat up on that bad boy just a little bit. Bam. Yeah, man, you're just gonna let them sit out, do their thing, while we monitor the real problem child.
There you go.
Is
There's about half a bowl. If we need more, we got more.
Love it. It smells so good. Go ahead and sprinkle that in. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So, let's see how our water's doing over here. We're almost boiling. I like it to really be a rolling boil before I add in the pasta, so we'll wait just a minute or two more on that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Plus, basically, this whole meal's tailored around how long you cook your Alfredo.
Right.
The big thing, you can cook it low temp. You got to make sure you don't burn all this cheese.
Well, and a lot of cooking I find is figuring out the timing so that you're not cooking something and then just waiting for something else to finish
don't
up.
Dry out. Ooh, no, let's go ahead and turn that down just a little bit. Now, at first, it may just look like it's not doing anything. You might have to just give it a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Just kind of process.
Yeah, it does take time.
We may need a little bit, but this would be a perfect time to throw salt and pepper up in this joint.
There you go.
Which, you cannot go wrong with that. So, of course, we got black pepper here. Just a big pinch. It doesn't have to be several. It's not too crazy.
Yeah, and that's some coarse ground, so it's going to have more of a bite than normal.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Only the best. And then salt.
Yeah,
Salt.
Let's stick with salt, not sugar.
Salt you really want to be careful with because there's a lot in that cheese.
You can always add more, but you can't take it out.
Yep. So definitely be conscious of that when you're cooking this because it can absolutely get out of hand quickly. Yep. And then all you can hope for is to dilute it enough at that point. And it's,
right. Yeah.
All right, we're going to let that.
Yeah, so I guess what better time than now to talk about the elephant in the room, huh?
Yeah, why not?
So where did you learn to cook?
A little bit from basically my mom.
Okay.
She didn't really teach me, but I would watch a lot. And she used to love grilling and cooking chicken.
Yeah.
And then right out of high school, I got a bunch of kitchen jobs. So started with pizza joints and like wing joint, and then I worked at Gilardi's for a while with my buddy Tyler.
Yeah.
And then I learned a lot from there. The Italian place.
Back in the day, whenever I used to do hair, Mike used to come in and get his haircut at our salon. Okay. So yeah.
Man, and like that was invaluable. Honestly, that was such a fun job, even though it was like I didn't work there for super long. It was like 6-8 months, something like that.
Yeah. But that's enough time and enough reps to get in to kind of know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, after that, it was basically just cooking at home all the time for Ashley and I.
Yep.
Because it's cheaper by far to cook good than to go eat good out.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, and it also keeps going out to eat something special.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love cooking. And there's something to it when you put in effort and time and you're just,
Yeah.
And then people eat it and they like it.
That's exactly.
That's the greatest
it's exactly. I find it so similar to music in that, like, you can spend as much time in your bedroom noodling stuff out and writing things out, but it's when you're on stage and people are singing your words back to you kind of thing. Dude. It's like, that's where it all comes back tenfold.
That's the best.
So yeah,
in the
I think
world.
cooking is a lot the same.
I love it, and I just enjoy the whole process from prep to to actual cooking to plating it. It's like a whole. Good food is just love. It's just a physical manifestation of love, pure and simple.
I totally agree with that, for sure. Totally agree with that. So the other thing, we had you on the audio roast. I think it was for a Halloween episode, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But that was right after your accident, and you were still in the hospital.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about your accident and what that journey's been like since then?
Yeah, man. To not dive super deep into it, I was in a motorcycle wreck. Just the wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
Yep.
It was around dusk-ish, and I was in a place I didn't know about, like a road I wasn't familiar, and came over a hill and there was a semi-truck. So,
Jeez.
Objects in motion want to stay in motion until something makes them stop. It made me stop, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was pretty gnarly, man. I spent 5 months in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty in depth, and it took me the last couple of years at home.
So I mean, obviously, broken leg, broken pelvis, was it?
Yeah, it was like shattered, and my wrist, my hand, my shoulder, my stomach.
Were you wearing gear at all?
Yeah, all my protective gear.
Okay.
I had a full face helmet on. I had a vest on. I had all this stuff I needed that did its job to protect me and make sure I'm not going to be paralyzed for life.
Yeah.
I didn't have any traumatic brain injuries. It was really rough, and like I had a lot of internal damage. Like it ruptured up some stuff, and
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy though, because as bad as all that was, like the fact that a human body can just come back from something like that is crazy.
It's really crazy when you think about it. Yeah.
Whoops, bear with me. I'm going to flip these real quick.
Go for it.
But and then they sent me home after about 5 months, and it took me another year and a half before I could even really get out of bed.
Wow.
And my wrist was all messed up, so that made lifting things hard. It made playing my guitar impossible for a while.
Right.
'Cause my picking hand was just kaput. But
Yeah.
it's been wonderful, because then I think about moments like being on Audio Roast several years ago and the state I was in versus being able to come and cook with you now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like just the growth and like the things it's taught me about life has been really awesome. And
Big time.
Yeah.
For me, as somebody that didn't go through that, but we all went through the pandemic and stuff, where everybody was stuck at home, and I actually thought about you. I was like, man, here's Steven stuck at home, but like stuck in bed. Like you are able to do way less than what we were, but yet you maintain an outrageously positive outlook. Like you always are, making people feel good online and stuff, pumping people up. You're always trying your best to do better for yourself.
Yeah.
What is it that's kept you so positive?
oh man, I could talk about this forever. I could talk about this literally all day. But what it really boils down to is, like, when you have to fight for your life, you start, it really puts into perspective, like, your priorities, what it means to see tomorrow, like, what you're willing to do to see tomorrow, you know what I mean? Like, I knew when I woke up in the hospital, I didn't care what the cost was physically, I was willing to pay it so I could keep going and see tomorrow. And that, when you just, no matter what, refuse to give up, and then you wake up looking to be grateful every day, it makes it very, very easy to remain positive.
Yeah.
Then you factor in my fiance, Ashley, that you guys know. She literally, I was incapable of feeding like going and making food or
Right.
getting drinks. She
Yeah.
she learned how to do wound care from the wound specialist at Mercy Rehab and at Select when I was there, and did my wound care because I was incapable of doing it every day for the last several years.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when you got to, and then not to mention all the countless people in town, there's like the hundreds of people who just told me to keep going, I know that sounds cliche and kind of corny, but that's really, it makes it so much easier to just keep your head right. And there's days where it's rough, but like...
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, just because your bones have healed or your wounds have healed, like, the big thing you've been struggling with for so long was nerve damage.
Yeah, the nerve pain was really, really bad. It still flares up, but it's really, when I think back to even a year ago, I used to need all kinds of narcotic pain meds just to get out of bed, and even then it was dodgy. It was half an hour at a time, an hour at a time. It's just, I guess, constantly keeping that in the back of my mind helps too, like what it used to be like, you know what I mean? And I just like to show people that one bad thing happening in your life doesn't need to define you or completely wreck you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
bad stuff's going to happen no matter what. Like, random stuff's random, and
Yep.
that's basically what I just try to tell people around me, like, my burdens don't diminish yours,
Right.
no matter what it is.
Yeah. It's true. That's true of anybody in any scenario, no matter how extreme one way or the other. Yeah. It's true. You never know what somebody's going through. But, man, I can't tout your praises enough for how proud I am of you for putting in the work to be as close to back to what you were,
Right.
And not even just physically, but your mind, because I'm sure you had to have gone through some dark places, too, during that. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows,
A little bit.
So, yeah, proud of you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Speaking of feeling really good, that fettuccine is going to be feeling really good in that jacuzzi over here.
Nice.
So
Let's
we got
go
it
ahead.
going for about 10, 11 minutes.
Sweet. I've been checking the temp. I still got a little bit of time to go on this chicken. In case you don't know, with chicken, you got to make sure the internal temp's at least 165 degrees by the time you pull it off. If you go 170, you're probably going to be all right for a little bit. But you got to make sure it's at least 165. Otherwise, you'll get salmonella and you'll probably die.
Probably so.
Probably die.
You heard it from Dr. Steven.
It's almost done. I turned the heat down just a little bit because I don't want to get this crispy at all.
All right.
And then this bad boy is going to be a nice sauce. It's not as thick as I should like, but a nice runny sauce ain't bad. It's going to be less heavy on your belly sometimes. Look, man, all Alfredo sauce matters, okay? Well, you can't really, besides burning it, you can't mess it up. Like, I guess salt maybe, but it's just one of those things that you could make it for $10 or you can make it for $100, and it's gonna be dope.
Yep.
You know, slap some butter and garlic on some toast for some, you know, ghetto garlic bread. Perfection. You're a pro at this.
I'm not at all.
Better than me, man. I make such a mess. This is a big chunk, so I'm probably just going to cut that one up and call it good.
Okay.
It's quite thick.
Here's what I'll do, actually.
These little guys cook through so easily. So nice. Perfection. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything's off. Perfect. I'll have to come through.
Looks really good, Steven.
I can't wait. I cook for me just as much as I cook for everyone else, just to be honest. It's not all selflessness out here. Oh, look at that, man. A little bit of on top. Slap some parsley up in there, too. Ooh. Now, it is kind of easy to overdo parsley if you're not really used to it. So, like, you might not. I kind of like it a lot.
Especially fresh parsley.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
That looks fantastic, man.
Oh, a little extra more?
No, that's perfect.
Cool.
I think that's
Perfection. Awesome.
Yeah, so you made a comment when you got here. Chef-boyar-steve.
Yeah.
There we go.
Chef-boyar-steve made it.
All right, well, let's
give it a shot, man.
dig in and see if it lives up to all the hype.
Oh, boy.
Looks like it's gonna.
Don't put that evil on me. Dang, dude. And I don't mind cooking taking a while because, like, the longer it takes, it's almost better, you know?
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Sauce is really good.
Came out nice and light.
Mm-hmm.
Just thick enough.
Really well seasoned chicken too, Steve.
Thank you, buddy.
Good stuff, man.
Thanks for the help.
Mm-hmm. Just in case for your pretty face.
Yep.
All right, chicken Alfredo, a la Chef-boyar-steve. Dude, thank you so much for coming by today, man.
It's been so much fun. I love this.
I know you're super excited and probably a little nervous to be on something like this, but same with me. I get nervous every week, so it's not a big deal. But I certainly appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us, man.
Been a pleasure, buddy. I love
Very
it.
cool. Cool. We've all got to eat. You might as well eat well. Try out some chicken Alfredo. We'll see you on the next one.
Take care.